Bum, ba-dum, bum. Alrighty. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Azaga here. Gonna bring you the sixth day of the Asia Division tournament for the knockout stage. We don't have very many days left, and honestly, it should. I believe our last match should be ending on the 14th. Oh no, sorry, on the 13th should be Friday, and that should close up for the Winter CBL for 2022, even though it's 2023 now. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoy. Hopefully, we get to see something soon. Haven't really caught up what the hell's happening right now. Um, hmm, might going to ask. I'm pretty sure all the streamers are probably going to start asking in a few seconds. Oh, they've opened up the stream on their main one. Let's see if we get the clean feed running. They might restart it depending on if they forgot to put the clean feed on because for some reason um, they can't retroactively put the clean feed on. 3 minutes delay, so we'll probably get a wait. But I hope you guys also go watch the main channel. They do have a special, which is a bit different from ours. So that's unfortunate for us. So the cheering, so we get another cheering section next week, beginning on the Monday by the looks of it. No, it begins on a Wednesday. That's weird. That cheering one. Oh man, you gotta watch a lot for that cheering one. Then we also have the losers bracket number 3 coming out. Should be shortly. About 10 minutes. Hi, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're just waiting for the stream to pop up. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on a bit of delay. 3 minutes here. Supposedly they're doing the pick band phase right now. Um, Honestly, you're better off going for the Asia servers. The MENA servers, which is Sandstone Gorge, it's not very populated. Not as populated. The hardest thing here is there's not really a large English population in the C servers. So CTC, I'm gonna have to say that like Asia servers your best bet. There are several English communities. If you go to Lotus Ash C, you can come join us at Rising Phoenix Community. But I am saying that we are winding down our community has gotten smaller and smaller, and the clean feed just decided to shit itself on me. That's unfortunate. Uh, Let me just if you do end up playing though, I do have a creator code that you can use to get some freebies if you want to use them. Be my guest. Just give me 2 seconds as I remember where they placed it. There we go. Alrighty, so this is my content creator code. That one should be working. you get a bunch of freebies. I think you get like the superfan title for. I think you get the superfan title. Only works for new accounts and stuff. Oh, looks like we do have the pick ban phase happening live on the sticks. Let me just steal visuals. All right, so we're in the next stage of the losers bracket right now. We have ING versus OISU. So we got the city, so we got the map bans for Hidden City and Harbor City. So we got a double Long Fjord pick. And surprise, surprise, holy cow, ING eliminates the heavy shields with a stalwart ban, a Myrmiliona's ban, along with the Imperial Spearguard ban. And OISU bans the Zycalian Militia, the Siphonades, and the Metalator. This is going to be a very restrictive setup. No heavy shields except for Shield Maidens, which has been safe picked. Very surprising by OISU. And um, a lot of the range specialists were taken out. The Metalator, the Siphonades, and the Zycalian Militia. And a Shield Maiden pile, even against a Genji, that's not going to stop. That's not going to stop a Shield Maiden. A Metalator, a Siphonati, or a Zycalian Militia would normally stop that. But with only Shield Maidens available for either side, um, in terms of like mainstay infantry, it's going to be a hard task trying to keep a line together, or at least keep formations, because I'm pretty sure the Shield Maidens are really strong and flexible, but Stalwarts are probably much better for cost reasons. But this is going to be very interesting. No polearm bans for once, but lots of heavy shields got banned, lots of range got banned. This is going to be super restrictive. We'll either see a lot of shield maidens or very little. And what I mean by that, I honestly think that if you go with shield maiden, you're probably going to go with the high tier cavalry, but you could go instead. Um, you could go instead with a Daggerrack Lancer, go for Halberdiers, Halberdier Sergeant, and that lineup could do very well. Don't forget that brute force doesn't always work. Sometimes you can work with lines and lines of halberdiers, and Fortibashers halberdiers, they're really coming up. Like, they are really useful in the infantry fight. They weren't before, mainly because of like lots of restrictions and weaknesses, but their their added flexibility in this meta right now makes them terrifying to face against, especially if you don't have a shield. So the shield maidens are going to have an easy time to deal with probably most of the heavy infantry types. So I don't think they're going to lose to I don't think they're going to lose to Siladards. I don't think they're going to lose to Iron Reapers. An Iron Reaper charge can be terrifying, but you're better off bringing something else if you want to face off against shield maidens. Um, so the Shenji pick, the safe pick for the Shenji is interesting, mainly because um, most of their power does come from the grenade. The grenade is super powerful, but Shield Maidens classically can block the grenade. Um, well, it changes with the patches. Previously, it was unblockable, but now grenades can be blocked, but their angles can be very frustrating to see. Not to mention, the grenade itself has quite a bit of block break on it, so direct hits can take out your block pretty fast. Long Fjord, with very little range units available, most of the time in CBL, we don't really see a very heavy range pile, but I do think that this is going to be interesting in terms of how the infantry game is going to turn out, because if you go in with a lot of anti-cavalry stuff, you can just get blown right through with just a couple of shield maidens. I think a good core of shield maidens being protected by a secondary core of halberdiers should work out super well. And depending on how the dynamic does work out, as long as you don't put all your eggs in one basket, you should be able to deal with most likely anything. But nevertheless, I do think both sides will want to use that heavy shield unit because it is one of the more powerful ones. And I do think CBL is lacking in the usage of shield maidens on scale because one shield maiden, okay, gets a little bit here, gets a little bit there, but a bunch of shield maidens? Now we're talking. A bunch of shield maidens are normally very strong because you can just have all of the heroes just kind of just go together. That's that's like 100. That's like 150 units all stacked together, just moving as one. Very difficult because of the density, and anyone wants to fight that has to fight them with an equal amount of force. All right, I'm gonna go listen to what the I believe not saying anything. Well, nonetheless. I do hope you guys enjoy the commentary for tonight. We are still in the losers bracket. This is more or less deciding who is going to fight against CNC and the winners, who will eventually win the winners bracket. I'm 100% sure that CNC will not be kicked down to the losers bracket. If they do, I think they're going to do it it will be on purpose, or they might actually get a challenge. You get a bunch of free stuff. For what I remember, I think you get a free. I think you get a free tier two, a couple of like extra stuff, probably some arty. I know you get like a low tier unit, a free low tier unit, some extra arty, some bronze, and probably some silver, and you get a special title. In game, yeah, you get a special title. It's called Superfan or something. I'm not sure if it lasts forever, but it is. You get Superfan when you use a content creator code. You get that. Only can. I believe so. It is via the gift code. Unfortunately, only accounts that are created at certain times will be able to get it. So I think for this one, it needed to be created um, after August. I think it was after August first. So try it out, see if you get something. If you don't get something, that's very unfortunate, but that's all I've got for you. I mean, you can also get you can also use the Discord code that I can easily grab up for you. Everyone keeps forgetting that inside rules and tips, there is a special code here. So this is a copy and paste from the Discord. So if you want an extra code, there you go. I believe the Facebook page also has another code, but I have not been bothered to look for it. Hmm. Delay's pretty bad today, I think. Alrighty. Game is about to start. So let's have a look at the lineup. As to be expected, halberdiers with halberdier sergeants. Not too surprising. But the lack of shield maidens, even though you chose them as a safe pick from OISU in particular, is quite interesting. ING not going as expected. I thought. Okay, so this kind of a little bit reversed. So, honestly, I thought OISU would use more shield maidens, and I thought ING would use more polearm units. A little bit different from what I expected. Only three Shenjis with one Tertial. One Tertial, very surprising. Oh, you are right. There is a Spear Sergeant in the mix. Whoa, whoopsie daisy. That Spear Sergeant, questionable pick. Not particularly a strong unit. And I mean, I loved my Spear Sergeants back in the day. They were quite. It was a different time. It was a different time. You could use Spear Sergeants, and they were really great, especially when you're going into the expeditions. Nowadays, Stuffer is a little bit tougher, and definitely not going to be easy. Shield Maiden, I mean, Spear Sergeants have gotten buffed, so maybe. No, it does not. The My Game servers have a completely different set of content creators. You're gonna have to go look for My Game's content creator to get their code. They should have codes, I'm pretty sure. So I'm from the booming tech side, otherwise Poros, since Poros is the official publisher now. Pretty standard approach right now, breaking down every single entrance. When you're attacking, you want to get as many avenues inside the city as possible. So breaking down the walls, breaking down the front gate. Very simple, very easy. Got that. Um, got them avenues inside. Uh, this Polax is probably going to regret the day he. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened, but it looked like that Polax might have fell and he was running along the wall, and you just watch the piranhas just waiting for him to fall. And when he does, he dies. Very, very unfortunate. So, OISU gives up first blood to ING. But nevertheless, this is just the beginning. We haven't really seen a real battle kick off. ING is ferocious, getting that musket with a jewel blade assassination. 2v3 here on the B side wall. Doesn't look like it's going to go in favor of OISU. Whoa! Tertials trying for a snipe. Nice dodge by Jadis. Inside we go. We have a mixture of Varangian guards and shield maidens. I'm not particularly sure what got stuck there. Tertials are quite. Tertials actually dish out quite a bit of damage. They are one of the faster firing musket units in the game. Pretty sure they are the fastest firing musket unit in the game. And whoa! What happened to Jada? He just gets ballisted in the face there. I'm not sure if he got hit by two ballistas or whether or not it was just got assassinated. A little bit of lag there as you see the spear kind of misses his dragon's roar. Ooh, have to be careful. A shield maiden is very good at killing heroes, and he loses his horse. Not a good, not a good sign. The shield maiden also assassinates. This is going really badly. We have not done a full-on engagement, but we have definitely seen the heroes from Oisu getting slaughtered one by one. And it's really a shame because that's going to really be impactful later on in the fight. And did they just trip themselves? I think they might have. Spear Sergeants as a shield wall protects them regardless. I'm surprised that the Spear Sergeants moved off before the Fortibrochers did. I would have pulled the Fortibrochers first before thing. Slow approach. ING is definitely bleeding out the defenders here. I think for all intent and purposes, I would actually retreat here. This is a really good retreat. If this would be a really good time to retreat because you have gotten so much artillery out from them. But nevertheless, ING does go in hard onto the B point, easily taking out that Madao and Halberdier formation. Winged Hussars tries to charge in, but unfortunately not entirely successful. The number of Halberdier sergeants is just probably too strong. Really, though that secondary charge there was very got very far, but for some reason the Halberdier is just holding super strong. Well, I mean they stood there like nothing. Like nothing hit them. Just air. I am a little bit disappointed though. I am of the believer that winged hussars are quite powerful and are capable of taking out the halberdiers. Strangely enough, the halberdiers have been more effective at standing their grounds than I've ever seen. There are maybe some limitations that I don't realize when stacking multiple halberdiers on top of each other, but nevertheless, that is the same as stacking multiple cavalry together. If two halberdiers together can stop a winged hussar charge, that means you need to send two winged hussar charges at the same time. A little bit of coordination, a little bit more harder, but nevertheless, the A and the B point is being grabbed right now, and a big loss from the defenders there. Oh, I would have retreated much earlier. I wouldn't have taken that kind of fight, especially a fight on two fronts. Oisu is also down on hero kills, getting themselves assassinated one by one. No in-game sound. That's because I have the clean feed turned off and it has this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get copy strike. Right. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get copyright strike for that one. When I upload this to YouTube, but nevertheless, um, Oisu's got their work cut out for them. It's very good to use serfs in this scenario because a secondary setup for mortaring has begun. I would definitely have a couple. I would definitely not let the farmers just get killed like that. You want to try to get as much value as you possibly can. The good thing here is that although Oisu is losing, ING is actually down on time. 5 minutes to take the sea point. They can't get another minute for going for the harbor. C would only get them 2 extra minutes, so Oisu just needs to make sure that ING is too scared to take a fight right now, and it's a bit hard to say whether or not the fight for the A and the B point was sensible. It could have been way better if they just retreated out and sacrificed maybe one unit instead of trying to defend the A and the B point. The commitment from the artillery, especially from ING, is incredible. We are going into a base point with Oisu probably up, still having like 70 or 60% of his forces, and there's only 9 artillery. ING is not in a good position. It's not in a great position. I mean, like, they're in a good position. They did take a good fight from Oisu, but in terms of time, this is going to be. Unfortunately, no Mask Flame Z. We only have the winners bracket on the Sunday, so no battles tomorrow. Today is the Friday, and we have the losers bracket. This is actually the losers semi-quarterfinals. We have the semifinals on the Wednesday. That should be the semifinals. And then we have the finals for the losers bracket and the finals of the winners bracket on the Thursday. And then we have the official winners versus losers brackets finals on the Friday next week. So we still have one more week of battles to go. So in this fashion, ING not only is using up the rest of their artillery, which is probably the best that they can do, but the most important thing here is for Oisu to really preserve their units because the harder that ING has to fight, the more time it's going to take. So you want to preserve those units as much as possible. Get your formations right. You don't want to push into ING. You just want them to push into you. You don't want to sacrifice. There goes the grenades. Don't need to sacrifice. The Varangian Guards comes in, actually slaughters the Halberdiers by itself. Very good. The frontline Halberdiers getting smashed into pieces and ING is taking Oisu out like with their superior range firepower right now. But Oisu comes in for a squish. I don't think it's going to be super effective as the Liao Ranger comes through. But a massive spawn of cavalry also comes out from Oisu, and that is a massacre from both sides. Both sides' infantry was slaughtered to a man. In particular, ING is on the run here, which is really, really good for Oisu, and really, really bad for ING. With 4 minutes left to go, Oisu is in a really good position, still holding that cliff supply point and holding the base point. That was really good discipline from Oisu. I was quite surprised that Oisu managed to counterattack that force. Now, this is going to be interesting. You could hold this supply point still if you had halberdiers left. Let's see how many halberdiers they have. They have half halberdiers. They're going to have all the infantry come up through the stairs here, straight onto base point, force them off the supply point, and that's not going to be good for Oisu because Oisu is going to have a battle on two fronts right now. Depending on how the setup goes, they just need to push them out one more time and or prolong the battle long enough. One of the biggest and more difficult, I would say, things you need to deal with is the fortibraccios, the halberdiers, and the tertials. The tertials will definitely, whoop, secondary set of tertials is going to be absolute nightmare. But here comes the cavalry. Unfortunately, Oisu was not able to stabilize, and instead loses the supply point down on the bottom and loses the base point at the top. Doing a wonderful job pushing them out from that attack. But we also have to remember that Oisu was probably down a third of their units. So in this case, the unit advantage going to ING is almost certain because some of the heroes from Oisu is probably permadeath as well. A spectacular job from Oisu. Unfortunately, the start of it was kind of an indicator of how things would have gone. The difficult thing here is Oisu didn't set up fast enough or didn't allocate their forces correctly, and that was their downfall. I do think that Oisu could have extended the battle for another 3 minutes, but as you saw there, ING responded decisively, did not let Oisu any moments of rest and aggressively attack the base point. Don't even need to go for that supply point. When the supply point's defenses were lax, they just blow right through it with the cavalry, and the cavalry is pretty fast, comes straight up onto that base point, crushing the defenders. ING is, again, a very good team. I definitely don't see anything wrong with what they did. It's particularly the slow approach, the halberdiers, the solid wall of steel that was the halberdier lineup. Not to mention good use of the Shenjis and the tertials, really using that range as much as possible in order to gain an advantage, really breaking down um, the halberdiers from the defenders. So it was much harder for ING to push in for the supply point when there was forces there. So again, when we're going for this kind of when we're going for a push, you never want to push into brace pikes. You want to disrupt them. You want to hit them with longer range stuff. Even if you have your own halberdiers, two halberdiers facing off against each other the pushing halberdier will always lose. There's never really a time where pushing into a brace unit will work out unless someone is there to take the hit. The initial hit is always just way more painful than the extended fight. What would have been really useful in this case would be the spear sergeants tanking the range and absorbing the halberdiers, but I'm pretty sure he got killed much earlier on. That aside, you can go for some of the cheaper options. I think the Spear Militia is a good second for just a shield unit. There's no point in having just two sets of serfs. You want serfs to fill out your roster, so why not get something that might serve a purpose? So, not sure if you how much actual leadership you're gonna have left. You probably don't even have enough leadership to get Spear Militia. They're 100, so quite costly. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I did a set of tests. Let's see if you are correct. I did a set of tests for both all of the range units. Hi, Z1, and just in general. I have the rate of fire. There is a error rate of a second, so could be pretty bad. Hmm. Alrighty. Tertials per model fire at 0.48. How fast are my Kriegs, Rat? My Kriegs are only 0.45. So, how about that? Tertials are faster than Kriegs. Tertials are faster than Kriegs. That is guaranteed. Why don't they take jabs? They can easily kill their pikes. Well, that is true, but thing is that less ammunition, way less damage overall. The impact of javelins is quite terrifying. Especially against shield units, much more effective against shield units than any of the other ranged units. But you don't use javelin units for their melee, and again, the downside of javelin units are, of course, um, that DPS over time. The longer it goes on, the more restricted it gets. So it's better off just having the ranged units deal with the pikes. As it was shown, that was quite thing. The problem, the problem with CB, I would say for javelin units in particular, is javelins are will never be able to output enough range damage, even with very powerful javelin skills, to threaten the position of ranged units. And that's both a good and a bad thing, but it's just that the javelin units don't particularly have a good melee capacity that restricts their purpose. They're supposed to be a melee infantry first with a powerful range skill. So that's why I like the Retiari. I much less don't use the Doom Throw um, when it is when I'm called to action because like I much like just charging in with Triton Charge and go spearfishing immediately and then Triton Charge again. That is again, the cooldowns are really low. You can do that really quickly. And you basically burst out a lot of units. And I've killed many units. The Retiari are ferocious as well. They're not easy to kill. Nevertheless, Looking at the teams, we have dogs as well. We have more Shenjis on the defending. ING using those Shenjis is going to have a very terrifying effect. Only one ranged unit coming out from Oisu. Oisu's going to have to work fast if they don't want to get blown away by the range superiority. Defenders having more ranged units is more beneficial because as Oisu approaches, it's going to be more and more difficult for them to survive getting shot. Good point. One of the beneficial things about being the defender is that your supply points will get closer as the enemy supply point gets further away. As they keep pushing towards you, um, the enemies will move further away from their supply point, and they'll be moving closer to your supply point. So just from a sheer fact that a javelin unit on the defending side, very powerful range skill, but they're also very difficult to kill, makes it equally as powerful as probably having a ranged unit available. So obviously, spam never never works out. But I would love to see some javelin units be used. The tier 4 javelins are not particularly cost effective, even in a scenario where you can get 100% damage out of their throws. Once it's called to melee, you're better off just being a normal ranged unit because the javelins cannot stand their ground. That's why the Retiaries are very good because they work as a specialist unit that aims to deal damage at range, but also are able to snipe out units that have been weakened. I definitely think that the Retiari are good. Classically, teams have used the Retiari in the CBL as a hero killer or a patrol unit because one of the things that makes them difficult to deal with is how fast their Triton charge really is. Auto tracking makes them basically never miss as long as they run directly at you. Um, you can circumvent this by walking to the side and get behind them because they don't have a turning angle for their charge, so they'll just charge in the direction they're facing, and then their speed adjusts to where you are. So if you get to their side or get behind them, they'll basically bug out. Breaking down the walls, breaking down the front gates. Oisu trying to look for a gap in the defenses right now, and it's not going to be easy. I would definitely think it's not going to be easy. Moving from one side to the other. ING doing a really good job keeping them out. Well, That's the thing about javelin units. They're not particularly um, terrible against shield. If you throw into a shield, wow, getting mortared on the approach and taking a hard fight right now. The Oisu could could be seeing another plan to get behind this tower here. I would definitely keep moving along because the mortars. There's so many mortars here. The defending team has basically used all of their artillery to hold off against this attack, and the onslaught from both sides right now with their range is crazy. And I love the discipline because they are relegated to just accepting the fact that these units are going to die. Grape shots are coming out, but just destroyed by Shenji grenades, very surprisingly. And slowly but surely, both sides are using more and more resources. Harder to Treb, but the Trebs have been managing to get in. Can they take out the mortars? Again, the further they move to the side here, the more Shenji on the defending side is going to work out way more better the longer this goes on, and it's already showing off that Oisu is beginning to break. They're they're at the point where they're going to fall. They're going to have to fall back because ING has already begun the counterattack, and the remaining infantry is already so little that they'll just go right through it. They really need to take those Shenjis out of the field if they want to be able to hold a position inside here without getting overrun eventually. But because of the counterattack, Oisu manages to get a massive respawn in. Cavalry from both sides are raging forward. We got the Daggeric Lancers going to take a hard right here, dodging, going straight into the Medals. Might go for a side charge here. Surprisingly enough, Oisu did not get pushed out completely. More Shenji are coming, so this is not going to go well for Oisu if they cannot gain a absolute advantage in a few seconds. That Shenji grenade is devastating, hitting the center of that pile. I'm pretty sure a lot of those units are probably at probably gone down to about half health, probably a good 2/3 maybe, taking off about a quarter. Well, probably takes out a quarter, but nevertheless, the entire line just disappears from a single charge. So that's not good at all for Oisu. Oisu is losing more units than ING, and it is the situation keeps deteriorating because of those Shenjis. And biggest mistake here is here comes the Winged Hussars. Unfortunately, straight into the Forte for the second line. Did make it past the halberdiers, and using more and more grape shots to kind of equal out the Shenji, but unfortunately the Shenji has already more than enough made up for their value. Right now, there is the fourth Shenji finally comes out, and there he is at the very back here. Or there's two more Shenjis? Wow, holy cow. I thought there was only four Shenjis. Another cavalry comes in for another swing and wipes out the infantry yet again for a third time now. This Daggerac Lancer is the same Daggerac Lancers that wiped out the forces, charging forward, wiped out the line, and came back around to wipe them out again. An amazing work out from ING, able to capitalize on Oisu's formation. Oisu has a very strong sense of formation, able to go toe to toe. The control from both sides is immaculate, but definitely in favor of the side with Shenji. The Shenji Grenadiers at wreaking absolute havoc on the lines of Oisu, and it just shows you that the unit difference is staggering. We are now down to probably half surf, half high tier units for Oisu, while the defending team ING still probably has it a full setup of strong units. Although the the Iron Cap Bow Riders, holy cow, there we go. That's an interesting pick. Not something I would waste 105 leadership on. The Shenjis are still alive. This is the crazy thing. The Shenji is still alive. You have no shield. You have to push. As long as those Shenjis are firing, you need to get through. And the Spear Sergeant take the lead with an advance. Here comes a charge from the Palace Guard. Palace Guards kneels down for a big effect, holding the line, but the line is not able, gets broken through as more and more units feed through. Now we have to deal with the Forte. Lots of losses out from Oisu for a third time, but the Daggerac Lancers are ineffective with that charge. The Medals holds strong, but the Forte is still there. We're losing more and more troops from Oisu. This is down to the last. Definitely not going to be able to push through as the units from Oisu clocks out one after the other, and the Daggerac Lancers comes in from the rear here. Probably actually made it all the way through, didn't actually see, but nevertheless, Oisu done a terrific job. I do not doubt that Oisu is one of the better teams, but unable to defeat the ING. ING also very good composition. I do believe that if it wasn't for your Shenjis, you would have a harder time. You would definitely have a harder time. but your Shenji's more than made up for their value. One grenade, two grenades, three grenades, all of those grenades. Mmm, delicious. Because they're just straight on to vulnerable pike units, unable to block the damage, unable to sustain. And in the end, Oisu did its best. They did manage to grab the A point at some point, and they fight, and they fight hard. I would too. Put it like this: the top line doesn't actually give you that much damage in terms of like doesn't give you actually that much damage on your muskets. Why not get that cooldown? That cooldown, that 10-second cooldown off of your Shenji grenade. That's a very powerful skill. One Shenji grenade. You can have 3 sets of Shenjis, and they can throw their grenades in such a way that you're always on your ass. That you just need 3, sort of. What I mean is that one Shenji grenade will throw big effect, shoot, 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 shoot. Another Shenji will throw big effect, shoot, 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 shoot. And a third one will throw, shoot, 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 shoot. And then the first one will have their cooldown off, and though those guys can throw again, shoot, 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 shoot. For me personally, I think Shenji, bottom line, get that cooldown, get as many throws as you possibly can, and wannabe coach. Easiest and simplest answer is aggressiveness. The spear, the spear playstyle is all about that one tap touch of death. They poke you with the right, they poke you with the right, they poke you with the right. They go in with the Q, hit you with the um, Dragon's Roar, and then finish you off with the Crisis Gift. There is very few heroes that can survive against a spear gunning for you, because that's how much of a threat or kill potential a spear has. And this is why spear keeps getting nerfed, because on horseback they were the most dominant class. Pike, half and half. They're not particularly great on horseback. They're much better on the ground. They have better rotations, but because they're upfront weaker, they have lower pressure than against a spear. A spear will literally one tap you if you're not careful, especially if you're not playing a heavy armor class. So, you want to know the reason why spear is more relevant on Frontier versus my games? My game probably has a slower approach, has a more methodical have a more methodical playstyle where they rather fight for a long time, gaining a little bit of edge at a time, while on Frontier, we love to set up advantages. We love to set up advantages for us where it's just all in our favor, and we'll never take a hard fight. Well, not that we'll never, but more than likely, on Frontier, we will run from an equal fight, and we will only fight when we have the advantage. And so we avoid all disadvantages, we avoid equal fights, and we only fight when we have the advantage. And when we have the advantage, that leads us to having our advantage later on. And then when we win that advantage again, we push that on to the next one. And then we're going to have so many advantages that you can't do anything against us. And that is the mentality of Frontier. We're not looking we're not looking to just have we're not looking to just kill you. We are looking to murder you in such a way that you will never come back from this. Every single heavy armor classes really struggle to finish off heroes. Polax really struggle. They have one of the best lockdowns. Again, the choke is very powerful, but they really struggle finishing off heroes. Glaive good damage really struggles to finish off heroes. You want a class that finishes off heroes real easy, real nice. Play spear, play pike. Those two classes will finish off heroes super easy, and it will be like it's like cutting through butter when you're playing those classes because when units are when heroes are on critical, that's a kill. That's almost guaranteed. You've got so many tools in your arsenal to just go, yep, he's dead. For those classes, that is. Heavy armor, a little bit more difficult. Definitely a little bit more difficult. There's never really a reason to play heavy armor to get hero kills. Your your job is to suppress as many heroes as you possibly can. So when you play a short sword, if you keep if you fight the same person that's hitting you, you're doing a bad job. Why? Because he's fighting you. He's already going for you. So your job is just to dodge everything he's throwing at you and find someone else to hit. And that is the the the, the best short sword I ever saw was a short sword that manages to hit or occupy heroes. Six heroes. It was amazing because he comes in, he does a sprinting attack on one of them, disrupts him, and then dodges backwards and throws his shield at another hero, and then he dehorses another hero with Thunderstruck while occupying the other two heroes that are coming for him, and it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. But this short sword, in the end, had six heroes trying to kill him, and the rest of us are coming in and killing the other heroes. So your job is not to fish for kills. You're not there to be the guy that is killing the heroes when you play a heavy armor class. The heavy armor class, his job is to disrupt. And if you're not disrupting as many heroes as possible, you're not doing a good job. As a spear player, your job is to finish off the kills. So if you can't see an opportunity or you can't get in to kill somebody, again, maybe the opportunity wasn't there, but maybe you're not a very good spear player. Sometimes it takes a good eye to see where your chance to shine, and sometimes it takes a bit of practice. The whole jumping right click, back of the head critical is one of the techniques that I will never be able to complete because it's just very difficult because it has a whole lot of bullshit hitboxes and stuff. Longsword is meant to sustain. A short sword it distracts because um a short sword doesn't need to keep engaging it once they're looking to kill you because that's actually really bad for a short sword if he's trading damage with people directly. He's he's going to die eventually. So it's very difficult for a short sword to occupy a lot of heroes if he's trading damage. So it's not really much of a duty for the short sword to sustain. It's actually just to survive while distracting the others. And when I mean distract, it's more or less interrupting them from doing other things, except fighting you. As long as they're fighting you, you've done your job. A bit half and half. I think short sword and long sword both play a similar role, but um, for like peak performance and stuff, I think a long sword with the ability to actually sustain has a much greater value than a short sword whose ability to disrupt. Because a short sword disruption ability is much stronger than the long sword, which half of their kit normally goes into sustaining. It's now a third, but on paper, I think a long sword is better at sustaining than a short sword. Nevertheless, we do have the next set of battle coming up in around about 7 minutes. I'm going to be right back. Well, the pick ban should be in about 7 minutes. I'll be right back, and I hope you guys will enjoy the commentary for the next set of battles. I do love talking about. I do love CV, and I do hope it gets better and better and better. I'll see you guys in a short few. Otherwise, it just feels like I'm eating. Only I'm eating. Man, I was rooting for you as well, Mask. Uh, Mask Flame Z. I was so devastated the entire time. I was just like, oh my god, what are you doing? You had it. You had it. You had it in your hand, but you just let it go. Yeah, like seriously, like you guys did amazingly well. You guys did it amazingly well. Really good job at making this CBL exciting, especially especially since you ended up fighting BOD 3 times, which was actually hilarious. But nevertheless, it was just really good fight. Really good fight. Definitely. I definitely think your battles and OISU battles have been more than adequate for like exciting battles. That one guy, I got this, and he's just like, I don't got this. Ah, oh, a moment's lapse in concentration. Moment lapse in concentration. So I hope you guys are ready for the next set of battles. We do have the Pickman phase for BOD versus BZZW. BZZW wins the toss, gets the first ban. Hidden City gets banned out, and it does look like Harbor City gets banned out. I bet a double Hailong Fjord and one Hailong Fjord for BOD. BZZW, do you choose Hailong Fjord as well? Cat is insane. Easily one of the best players I've fought. Rip Cats. Ah, for your guys. I don't really keep track of the names too much. Except for Mask Flame Z, since you're here in the chat, and I seem to keep your name in my brain for a long time. Well, always play with your friends. You never want to play with strangers. I think it creates disharmony when you can't have a good time while playing. If you make it too serious, then eh. Nevertheless, we have the bands Halberdiers, Mammalians, and the Metalatos and Zyka militia, Zycalian militia gets banned out from BZZW. A safe pick on the Medal Battalion from BZZW. Switching over to BOD. What is your last ban and what is your safe pick? Dun 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 dun. Um, I don't remember Obi-Wan Kenobi playing in the CBL, or if he did, he didn't pass the qualifying phase. Ooh, did BOD skip over their safe pick? Interesting. Safe pick can be very powerful, but can also be very telling. Oh, never mind. The safe pick onto Siphonades. Oh, wait. They didn't do a ban. Interesting. So again, the triple special. Again, the specials for range has always been kind of telling. Everyone, well, more or less lately, it's just the focus on these units have been incredible. Dagger Lancers gets banned out, and that's going to be way interesting to see how teams that relied on Dagger Lancers to compensate. I don't think I don't think Tundra Humans are strong enough to replace Dagger Lancers, and I think Cataphracts are too expensive to replace Dagger Lancers. So let's see how they adjust their lineups with Dagger Lancers out. as a ban from BZZW take them out. ECL, but wait, did what ACL? No, ECL's been second once. I can't remember. ECL's been second, has been fourth twice, I think. Did they come second once? No, I don't think they've been second, right? Yeah. I know OB's Arwen Baxter came third once, so like ECL's mostly been in top four. I don't think you guys have ever been in. I don't think you guys ever made it to the finals, so that's one thing. Man, if I can stay awake for that, maybe I'll be interested. But it's EU time, which is actually not terrible. I think it'll be like 1 o'clock. But if I also do the NA time, I Jesus Christ, I would be having to sleep during the day and wake up in order to do your guys stuff. Not bad weekends then. Well, I'll keep a lookout. I'll keep a lookout. I'll try to. I'll most likely be trying to get information through your guys' streamers and stuff. So you guys got 2 minutes. So everyone in my stream, you got about 2 minutes before you can't get onto the dev stream and get the rewards from the dev stream. The dev stream, unfortunately, does have a special reward that only they have, which is different from the rewards you can get from me. So make sure you guys head over to Conqueror's Blade Devs to get those drops if you really want them. But you can stay for me. I hope you guys love my like my commentary or love either word. One's just greater than the other. You never know, man. You never know. Maybe they'll merge one day, and then you can claim all of these rewards. Thanks, Id1. So I think another 3 minutes before we kick off for the first battle. Stop smiling. Am I sad now? So, who are you going for? I kind of want to see BZZW to win, but I think BOD has had a better showing. But then again, I mean, like normally when like battles are too one-sided, I can't really see the strength of the team. So BZDW could just be like sleeper OP and just like whack BOD out into the waters here. So BZDW could literally just be on a different level. I do have a good gauge on the strength and weaknesses for BOD, but again, their unit control has never really looked good. Especially since like most of the battles I have seen from BOD have ended them with just getting their asses handed to them. But they have come back. No way. Hey, are you being racist here, Zidwan? Just because we're both Asian? He's Filipino though. I'm like a mix of Malaysian Vietnamese. We are Asian, bro. We can't be racist. How can I be racist? I'm Malaysian. Ah. Oh man. I haven't seen Fire in ages. I'm not even sure what he does anymore. I think he's just focusing on his job. Ah, yeah, like. Oh, really? That's I have been confused with Fyro once, but because one time Fyro let me stream indirectly on his channel, and everyone thought I was Fyro. Yeah, I streamed on Fyro's channel once, and everyone thought I was Fyro. I streamed on his stream because he had drops at the time, and I didn't, and I was just that had come up. So I just started streaming at that time. So what I was about to say is that I got really bored one day. I spent 5 hours from 12 to 5 a.m. in the morning, and I just basically did some rough calculations for all the ranged units, besides the cavalry. I mean, all the ranged units for CB. Hey, Rima! Holy cow! I haven't seen you in ages. You guys still raiding on World of Warcraft? What are you guys up to? And thanks for the sub. I love you, man. Ah, man. I've been streaming CBL all this time. I'm surprised that you. Wow, fiending. You're gonna see a lot of old faces here, Remo. Be careful, they might eat you up. All the cool keys. Oh. Wait, I thought you were married, man. Or you're getting married soon. Are you gonna have a celebration? I just attended my sister's wedding in in late December, just recently. I'm pretty sure I told you about this, right? But if I haven't, I'm telling you now. Not many people actually have weddings nowadays. Ah, well, yeah. My sister had a wedding on a farm, and it was super emotional that day. It was like 3 hours out from the city. No, no, more like 1.5 hours out from the city. It's actually not that long far away, but it was almost 40 kilometers, maybe 40 kilometers drive, maybe 50, more close to 50. Oh, I was carrying food there that day. Carrying sushi actually for some kind of like the kind of like a finger food kind of thing. And apparently the sushi didn't come out at that time. And I only noticed later that apparently there was an after party where like everyone's like after all the dancing and all the drinks, they brought out sushi to have like a midnight snack, and it was just absolutely devoured. There was something like 100 pieces of sushi, and they just nom 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 nom. I had a really good time. It was really good. It was a really good wedding ceremony. Again, it's about the message when it's about what it means much less than what you actually do. And of course, I got to meet a lot of new faces and old faces. Of course, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of my sister's friends that I was also technically friends with, or friends in relation to my sister anyway. Ah, yes. And at the end of the day, when all is said and done, you look back at it, and I believe you should be happy that it happened because it can be a very memorable moment, and I'm definitely going to remember it for ages to come. Huh? Wait, what? What? Japanese girl to notice him? Wait, who? Who's the Conqueror's Blade Japanese girl? I'm so confused now. Well, nothing much is happening so far. I mean, like, right now, I forgot which team's which, but the attacking team is just breaking down the front gates, and we do see some interesting units. Claymores have always been a support unit that's. I don't know why you put a cauldron there. You can just bash down the gate. Also, when you play a pike, just use Skyward Dragon and use the twirly thing where you block and do an attack, which does a blunt attack damage. Probably for pre-fire on that RD. It would not be surprising. I mean, in siege battles in particular, there has been a lot of cases where ballistas have been placed down to look at those front gates and shoot you as you come through. I've been shot by a siege ballista that's been placed there, or many a times a ballista at the very least, have tried to get hero kills. So, very standard, break down the front gate, break down the broken walls. They're not particularly a little setup here. Interesting setup. Double Halberdier Sergeants, one Shield Maidens with a Iron Reaper. Could go for the same play. Could go up this stairs here. I've seen them do it before. This trip is going to hit far side, but a battle does come out. Charges with the flail. Good switch. Oh, oh no! Not set up yet, but the Liaos instantly decimate that Halberdier unit. That's a very unfortunate, but a good cleanup by the Iron Reapers on that pile. So the pickup is still pretty big. The Liao Rangers cannot actually get up on here, but they are killing the units. The catch on the backside could be massive if they can get the Liaos, but the Liaos does look like they are about to escape. We also have some Janissaries, in fact, going to shoot you up. Does look like they are retreating, though. Didn't actually really win on that side. I don't think they're going to be able to push forward with what they got right now. They have to disrupt the supply as well. Pushing now through the front gate on the A side. A battle of just the wall now is also raging on. I'm not. It's a little bit too far to see, but it does look like some ranged units are very close to the front there. Shield Maidens are probably winning that wall side. The Claymores and the Royal Janissaries will clock out very shortly, but the A point is completely clear of the defenders right now. They're occupied on the wall and they're occupied on different sections. And Claymores there in the back gets onto the Fortibracios. In fact, we got some loyal guards moving forward. Big disruption. This Water pile is about to be flanked by a Shield Maiden. Very easily gets cleaned up. And the formation for the defenders right now, BZZW, is coming in strong. The Shield Maidens cleaned up very nicely. With Stalwarts available for both sides, we see an Iron Wall formation with Stalwarts taking the front. That Stalwart there on the side there, although they haven't really achieved very much. They're keeping the BOD away from that A point, and definitely that split allows them to clean up very easily. BOD's already on the back foot, losing the battle at the B side and losing the wall battle, in turn losing the push towards the A point. All in all, BOD's going to lose a lot of momentum for this. Why not F1? Why not F1? It actually doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter in that case because in F3 formation, you're concentrating the Fortebraccio to deal damage, and this is actually a more better formation against infantry, especially when you want to kill them. F1 formation is very good against cavalry because cavalry has a habit of just encompassing everything. So a wider spread allows you to control more area against cavalry since you're far more deadlier. True. Denser formations get disrupted more easily, so in any case, F1 formation is much better for holding. F3 is much better for pushing. So when you want to push, I think F3. Although it's amazing that you tried to do a wing to start charge, it is still dumb to charge straight into a Fortebraccio. A very nice musket bomb, but there is just way too many Fortebraccio blocking you. Liao Rangers comes in from the back. If you timed that well, that could have been absolutely amazing. But damn get those damn shields to the front right now because, well, actually, no, you could just sit there. Both sides are just staring at each other, and BOD has already wasted a couple of units, especially cavalry, when the lines have not engaged properly. BZZW slowly pushing in one formation after the other, keeping that F1 formation in the back because it is securing the rear. Now, the Fortebraccio will have the longer range, going to push out the Medal's going to push out the Loyal Guards. And surprisingly enough, BOD gets completely eviscerated because I don't know where this Loyal Guard came from, but it was in the backside of BOD's formation. So this is the second loss that BOD has received, and that's not good because they're going to be low on units, they're going to be low on time. 1 minute 30 seconds to go. BOD surprisingly has a lot of serfs, so the unit count may look similar, but they're actually down by, what is it? If you only count the high tier units, wow, they are down by almost 200 units, 300 units. They're almost down 300 units. That is really bad. Hey, games. You can't play a game forever. You can't play a game forever. I mean, you will die or the game will die, so whichever comes first. But I also think that to each their own. I hope you can enjoy WoW to come and for WoW forever, or you find another game that you will enjoy. Right now, the push from BOD is going poorly, as most likely Lero infantry relying on that grape shot, clearing off most of the heroes that tried to attack them. But with the monastic knights charging through and some prefecture pikes, those are axe raiders going in, destroying those grape shots. BOD gets pushed out for a fourth time and a final time. That is dunzo. BOD not doing very well. This is a very bad start. Well, to say the least, BOD is really struggling because they got split up. They're not holding their lines, and they're not communicating. The cavalry coming in straight into Fortebraccios. If the someone's got to tell the cavalry that you can't charge in. There is Fortebraccios. The communication between the teams, I don't know. Very silly move. It's a very bad move, of course. Fortebraccios against winged assaults, against any kind of cavalry, you're gonna die. The Liao Rangers getting in from the back, coming in, thinking they were going to get some Fortebraccios, but unfortunately, 360 brace. By the time the Liaos get to the Fortebraccios would have already turned around and they would have killed them. Easy, not practical. So, waste of their cavalry. Infantry battle, not very clean. Control from BZZW, much stronger and definitely more concise in their movement. Definitely taking advantage of the flanks, definitely taking advantage of awkward angles in order to beat BOD here. So, BOD got their work cut out for them. They are on the defense this time, so BZZW is attacking. BOD, let's see what you got. I do think that you should be showing something better, but BBZZW does seem to have the unit control against you. You have always been weak in unit control. Let's see some hero kills. Thrones of Liberty. I mean, there's a lot of good-looking games. I think I'm also on board with a couple of the MMOs that might be coming out. Thrones of Liberty looks very cool. I'm not actually sure if I'm actually fully interested. I haven't actually seen gameplay of it. I mean, quote unquote gameplay. Most of it just looked like cinematic trailers. Oh man, Rima's racking up them achievements with that 5.5k hours on CB. It's pretty intense. How many hours do you do? What do you mean team? If we play together. That's fine. I'm also thinking I might try out Diablo 4. I don't know. I've never tried any of the other Diablos. Apparently, Diablo 4 might be different. I've never really got into Diablo before. ARPGs has been kind of a thing that I have been interested in, just never really picked it up because of a little bit of tedium. But now, since I played Lost Ark in particular has been a massive grind and time consuming. And I like grind to a certain extent as long as it feels like I'm actually achieving something. But right now, I'm in a bit of a rut for Lost Ark, so I'm hoping maybe CB will come back again, maybe fix up a bunch of things. I still enjoy it from time to time. Still hate a lot about it. Sometimes it's just very difficult because when a tournament's not on, or the only the pressure is not there when you're practicing. So if there was a 15 team queue in game that was popular, maybe it would have been better. But the facilities aren't there to really allow you to push yourself unless you get a whole team, and getting 15 guys that really want to push themselves. Good luck. Good luck. Not to mention, you actually have to find another team of 15 to actually push yourself against. And I mean, I tried this once. I tried to do a League of Legends ranked team. We ended up as the lowest rank you could possibly get, Bronze 5. And we were fighting a Bronze 1 team at late at night, another bronze team from Australia. And we just kept fighting the same guys over and over again. And we got sick of it after the third game. But I do hope that one day you're going to tell me that you've completed all the raids on WoW. You're gonna say you've completed them on the hardest difficulty. You got all of the mounts. You got all of the collectibles, and you're gonna tell me that you have achieved pinnacle in WoW. Right, Rima? You're gonna tell me one day you're gonna start soloing raids, right? You're gonna be the man that solos the raids. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just talking out my ass here. I have never played WoW. I've watched it a little bit. Oh man, Rima's cracked. He's probably like half the raid party. If he dies, restart. I like a little bit of a survival game. Zomboid looks very interesting, and I like the concept. The unfortunate thing here is when there's PvP elements where other people can kill me, I get a little bit frustrated because if I get killed by a guy that I particularly just like, or I don't like getting killed by other players, and I don't like killing other players as well. I don't like being that guy. A kill time game. Yeah, maybe I need more kill. Okay, like a kill time game or a game to have fun. Unfortunately, every game I'm playing right now is grind, grind, grind. I play Dark Tide, fucking grind. I play. Lost Ark, it's a grind. I play CB, it's a grind. Everything's a grind for me, and it's just like, why can't I just play a game where I'm just going to just load in, shoot somebody, and someone's going to shoot me? I should play COD again. That's what should happen. I should go back to playing COD, where I just hop in, kill 50 guys, get off, and think that, wow, I just don't go back to FPS. Apparently. Anyway, here we are on the second battle. BOD is defending this time with BZZW attacking. BZZW going in with a little bit more tier 5s. I think BOD also has a little bit more tier 5s as well. Though the Shenji is correct. We have 4 sets of Shenji coming out from BOD. Could be bad, could be terrible. The number of shields out from BZDW is kind of low. I would expect a little bit more shields, especially the stalwarts from either side, but that doesn't look like a lot. Does not look like a lot. I think over my playtime in Modern Warfare 2, I had something like a 2.73 kill death ratio, and I played like 5,000 hours in Call of Duty 2 multiplayer. Oh man. I think my best kill death ratio was the one time I ever went for a nuke, and I got to 27. I got to 27. I didn't make it to the nuke. I did not make it to the nuke. I was one off. I was so sad. Actually, there was a second time I was going for the nuke. I got 20, but the game ended. It's really difficult, actually. Really difficult sometimes. BZZW breaks open the front gate. Does not look like there's very much resistance. We're going to see some wall breaks here soon. Using some mortars to destroy them. I don't. You actually waste a lot of mortar shots in order to take out the wall with them. If you have other things, it might be better. Even javelins. I mean, it takes around about 6 javelin throws to kill a wall. I've done it before. I did it with what was Outriders before. Yeah, you throw the exploding ones at it, and it takes around about 6 shots, or maybe that was something else. But javelins can destroy walls. Very fun. A. I got hooked into CB because it was so unique. I was looking for okay, so craziest thing. I was looking at Warband, Bannerlord, Bannerlord, and I was looking into it. I was just like looking all of this stuff, and then for some reason, pop. I remember seeing an ad for a different game, and it was like, I think Lazy Peon covered this, and Lazy Peon did cover Conqueror's Blade. In 2019, he redid his one. He redid his review of it later on. But yeah, I came in because of Lazy Peon, and I was just I wanted a game where I get to control units because I was back in the strategy. Back then I wanted like strategy stuff. A little bit of a switcheroo right now. Does look like BZDW wanted to go through the A side. Looks like it want to go through the B side. Falls back. Might go switch over back to the A side. A side again is easier to attack because of how far the defenders have to be away from the supply point. But the difference here is that I was totally into the RPG elements for Bannerlord, or the role playing elements was amazing. But what hooked me was the actual gameplay for CB. CB gameplay right now is amazing because look at these units fighting off against each other. We have stalwarts versus stalwarts. Does look like a contingent made it up on top of the wall. 2 sets of shield maidens just slapping whatever's over there. Going to flank in. Shield maidens from the front. Halberd is running away way too late. BZZW seems to be sweeping across this wall right now. Didn't go through the front gate properly, but gonna go funneling themselves through this broken wall, and BOD challenging them, but they're completely surrounded and losing units fast. This Halberdier and Loyal Guard combo is going to get slaughtered from the front and from the side here. So good pickup for BZZW, but bad for BOD. Really need to be careful where you pick your fights. You're picking your fights in the wrong places. Right now, BOD is better off leaving the A and the B point instead of trying to re-establish. They've already lost way too much, and a fight for the finish would entail pushing them out here and now. But a sacrifice from a wing to charge does get through, but does not do a clear sweep. There is not very much backing up this A point right now, and BOD is very slow to come in if they want to hold this point. Lots of halberdiers, lots of anti-cavalry out on the field, just enough to make sure that a singular cavalry will not be able to push through here. The shield units are really the crux of the matter. That you have to beat infantry with infantry on occasion. In this case, cavalry can be successful, but it's a combination. You got to deal with both the medals and those halberdiers along with all those shield units. So you're gonna have to be careful, BOD. Your cavalry is very valuable, can get you a lot of pickups, but those anti-cavalry units are very powerful nowadays, and definitely much more powerful than they were before. In CBL, I think one of the weakest parts about cavalry is how squishy they are. The difference here about actual games and, well, sorry, in Siege and CBL is doctrines. Doctrines are very powerful and one of the most hated systems, I think, in this game for me. 50% damage reduction while charging is the worst doctrine. Sorry, it's the best doctrine for Lance Cavalry. And when Lance Cavalry has that 50%, Pike units can no longer just instant kill a charging cavalry unit, and it becomes very difficult. Well, at this point, they're losing the unit battle way too hard to even think about hero killing. And I would be honest, like, I think BCCW is better at hero killing right now because they have that unit advantage, and it just keeps growing. This unit advantage is so whoa! Instantly getting caught and just eviscerated by that Shield Maiden pile. And people ask me why I think Shield Maidens are OP. Shield Maidens are OP. Oh, you think they're balanced? They're not. They're honestly not. They're fast. They got decent amount of damage. And when I mean decent amount of damage, these Shield Maidens apparently can hit for something like 2.5k. I think it's around about 17, but um, my other analysts and testers with me, they say they hit for around about 2.5. When they're hitting armor against armor, it goes around down to about 15. That's more. That's almost the same amount of damage as a Iron Reaper. So you have 28 of these Shield Maidens hitting for as hard as an Iron Reaper. So Shield Maidens will kill you faster than an Iron Reaper can kill you. I mean, granted, there's 28 of them and there's only 16 Iron Reapers, but let's be let's be honest here. The Shield Maidens are not particularly easy units to kill either because they have a big, nice shield that actually has the highest block in the game. I think the estimated amount of base block that Shield Maidens have is around about 2,000. Do mention that most units only have around about 200 block break or have 200 block break damage for most, if not all, units. So it will take around about 10 hits from any units to actually get through their block. 10 hits to get through Shield Maiden's block means that Shield Maidens have hit you 10 times already. That's enough to kill 2 units. That's enough damage to kill 2 whole units worth of health. In fact, it might be up closer to 3. the difference here in numbers is is getting too large. I mean, even if like BZZW throw all of their units in against BOD and BOD just kills them all with no losses, there's still a second set. There's still a second set. BZZW could lose almost completely, and they could still win it. Like, the only way BOD wins this is that if they completely destroy BCCW, not once, but twice. And when I mean completely destroy, near to no, or basically no losses. It's probably a good choice to retreat. I would have retreated when I was getting hit by those mortars, because you can already tell that a bunch of mortars have been placed. Prefecture Archers. Arrow Rain, one of the most powerful abilities in for an archer to have. It basically doubles their fire rate, and for for units that have Arrow Rain by default, it's 100% damage. So they don't have that negative that Arrow Rain on the Doctrines have. So they're doing twice the amount of damage. They're firing twice the amount of arrows for 100% of the damage. And the dogpiling of this Death Ball right now, slowly eating away from BOD's front line right now. The Shield Maidens are chopping that one stalwart into pieces right now. Lack of support right now, as just the human wave tactic just breaches right through that Fortebraccio. You watch that Fortebraccio almost disappear, holding strong. Good hit from the Chevaliers, but just not enough damage in order to push them out. And I love the Wing to Star Charge, but the Wing to Star Charge should have came first before the Chevaliers, and that would have made a big dent in the enemy. Unfortunately, able to hold strong with those Medals and those Halberdiers. Nevertheless, BOD throwing units like crazy at the attackers, and I'll be honest here, they are still solid. Double line of stalwarts. We got Medals and Halberdiers in the rear here. The Imperial Spear Guard, not a bad pick. They're really great, really tanky, but honestly, you could do better than those ones. The cavalry coming through here, hitting the sides of that Halberdier. Again, that Halberdier is the only thing from BOD down on this front, and it's getting killed very slowly by ISG and the men-at-arms. One side getting blocked up by Medals, one side just charged through by Cataprax. And this short sword has to survive. He doesn't. Has to survive for 3 whole minutes. BOD is at managing to get certain kills, getting heroes, killing those heroes, but the the unit respawn here from BCZW has come in, and it's complete dominance almost. I don't know how they got the men-at-arm past the Medals. Either the Medals were just not braced. Finally, those Halberdiers brace, blocking off those men-at-arms. The heroes are jumping on one at a time. More time keeps ticking down. They're doing their best, but the unit advantage is massive. Like, at this point, I would say BCZW was up like 20 units. Well, that is at BOD. Poor performance for the second round as well. Unable to beat BZZW, though you did win a lot of time from them. BZZW still smashes your defenses into smithereen very easily. Better unit control, better performance on average, and again, BOD, you're taking a lot of small fights with a lot of small sections of your army, and you're losing them. So you need to work together. You need to protect each other. So you don't want to send 2 units at a time, 2 units at a time. You're going to end up with no units by the end of it. But that is all for that, I guess. I missed the goodbye from Rima. Well, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys as well. We did get to watch some exciting battles for the first one. and second one a little bit less exciting. I do think there are some ups and downs. There can be much better. Definitely, teams can perform much better against certain other teams, and that's when you really want those times where the teams that are fighting against each other have equal skill, because the back and forth you get is a slugfest. And the back and forth is the funnest part, because when teams are stressed, when teams are pushed to the edge, that is where the smallest difference in skill becomes the biggest. The smallest difference in skill becomes the most interesting part about watching CB, and that is what I love about CB, is that the dynamic between the heroes, the units, and the teams, everything together. I love this whole niche of a game, and I love to watch and commentate for this CBL. But nevertheless, goodbye, my folks. Goodbye, Rima. I love you, and goodbye, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Zid1, and K2C. So that is all for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed my commentary for the 11th day of the Asia Division Knockout Stage Winter CBL. A whole bunch of that. I love you too, El Pux. Um, so I hope you guys enjoyed that commentary for today. We'll see you guys on the Sunday, and we get to see the semi-finals for the winners bracket. Pretty sure it's the semi-finals for the winners bracket. Semi-finals for the winners bracket. Then we get the semi-finals for the losers bracket, then the finals for the winners bracket, and the finals for the losers bracket, and then finally the finals between the winner of the winners bracket and the winner of the losers bracket by the end of that. Hopefully, we don't end up in a situation where CNC's already defeated the team that they were fighting against, and hopefully, um, like again, I don't think CNC is going to lose. If they do, they did it on purpose. But I'd still love to see a lot of people try their hands at kicking CNC off their damn throne. But nevertheless, I love you guys. So all to the best. I'll see you guys next time, because my name's Atsukai. Have a nice day. Bye for now. CNC versus BPJW. I mean BPJT. Good night.